What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in. All right, we're going to take a look at the most affordable four-man fishing boats here for 2026. We're talking about the 20-footers, all right? I love the 20-footers. The 20-footers are in the sweet spot. And I say that because once you get to a 20-foot boat, you can comfortably seat 4 people in the front, and the decks are big enough to comfortably fish 4 people from the deck of the boat. If you go to an 18-footer, in my opinion, they're just too small. You can't really fish 4 people off the back. If you step up to a 20-footer, the price goes up only a little bit. If you step up to a 22-footer, the price jumps up quite a bit. That's not necessary. So here we go. We got Rite, RH, Duckworth, Stabicraft, Thunderjet, North River, Kingfisher, Hewescraft, Weldcraft, and Raider. So plenty of sweet boats to look at today. We'll take a look at the soft tops to start off with. Those are going to be the most affordable. We'll take a look at some hard tops, and then we'll take a look at a few Alaskan bulkhead style boats. We'll take a look at a couple of 21-footers just to see what you get if you want to step it up a little bit. And at the end of the video, we'll decide which one of these boats is giving you the most bang for your buck. Let's go. All right, guys, before we start, grab yourself a plate of Oreo cookies, get a fresh cup of coffee, put your feet up, and take 1 second before we start, please. I gotta say it real quick. Please subscribe, help me get this channel going. Turn on the bell so you don't miss the future videos. That's important. All right, let's go. Okay, the soft tops, starting off with the most affordable boats, starting out with Rite. I love this boat for the price. 20-foot Rite, $50,000. Okay, but that's gonna be just for the boat motor and trailer and windshield wipers. That's what it says on the tag. But you get a nice Honda 115. I love that. No extended transom. The motor just mounts right on the back of the boat. But here, if you look at the splash wall, okay, that splash wall comes all the way up just as high as the sides of the boat, and I love to see that. If you get hit by a wave from the back, I feel like you're protected. So I like this boat. Doesn't have your fish box or your cutting board. Okay, so it's just the basics, but that's why it's such a good price. And I can tell you, to make a long story short, I can tell you right now, maybe about $3,500 more you put into it, you're gonna have 2 nice burn one mounts on each side that you can then put your downrigger right into that, or your rod holders, a washdown hose, and some decent electronics. If you put maybe another $3,000, $3,500 into it after you buy it. So you can still have a boat that's really set up, you know, super sweet boat. If you don't mind, you know, adding those things on after you buy your boat to save a little money, you can do that. I've done the research, and right here we're taking a look at the sides of the boat. So that's what I'm talking about. 2 guys can fish side by side off of each side of that boat. Easy. That's why I like the 20-footers. You got a decent bow here. Diamond plate storage box on that bow, so if you're standing up there fishing, you know, you won't slip. You have something to stand on. That's kind of nice. Diamond plate on the very front part of that bow there too, so if you step off the dock, you won't slip. The canvas top on this baby, it's a cheap one, but it does the job. I mean, that's what you get for the price. All right, now we're stepping up to Riverhawk. Now we're gonna compare this to that Rite we just saw. So we're going up from $50,000 to $57,000. In my opinion, it is worth going up to $57,000 for this boat right here, because you get the extended transom, you get your fish box right here, cutting board, a little live well, downrigger mounts already ready to go, and a washdown hose. And the main reason why I'm willing to pay $57 instead of $50 is just because it's got that built-in fish box, okay? To me, that has a lot of value to it. You got your fish box, cutting board, live well. You never have to bring a cooler. A cooler's always gonna get in the way, and it's nice to have a boat that's got that. You don't have to bring a cooler. I love that, and I'm willing to pay a little extra. So I like this one. I like that Rite for the price, but to me, I would be willing to spend $57 for this boat right here, for sure. So I like Riverhawk. I mean, basic boat, but it's got everything you need. The bow here, no deck mate or diamond plate on the bow, so you probably want to throw some mats down there, because if you're going to fish up there or even just step off the boat from up there, I mean, you could maybe slip possibly if it's wet. So you probably want to throw some deck mate on that. Most boats have some deck mate or some diamond plate up there, but this one doesn't. But easy fix. Okay, we're going to throw a 19-foot boat in here, and the reason why is because 19-foot boats a lot of time can comfortably fish 4 people off the back, just like a 20-foot. So we're going to throw a couple in here just to compare. So another 19-foot fish right with a sweet Honda 150 VTEC. So a big step up in the motor, and you're going up only 2,000 more from that Riverhawk we just saw. So again, this has got everything: your downrigger mounts, your fish box cutting board. So great boat for the price, but because it's 19 foot, we'll see in a second, the deck of the boat is a little small. So again, another nice bow, diamond plate so you don't slip, handrail. Really nice boat with a really nice motor for a really nice price. And when you see these Fish Rite boats for such a cheap price, you're not going to get, you know, a bunch of extra features. It's a bare bones boat. That's the only way they can give you this price. But $59,000, heavy duty boat, nice Honda 150 motor, trailer, and you know, you do get these extra features. Now look at the side of the boat here. This is what I'm saying. For a 19-foot boat, 2 guys are not really going to fish side by side there off the side of the boat, because that space is just really small. I mean, you're going to be packed in there shoulder to shoulder, and so that's a really tight space. I mean, you can do it. I mean, if you're good friends or family, maybe you don't care, but to me that space is just a little too small. So that's the only thing I don't really like about the boat, so I would probably pass on this one. It's a sweet boat for a sweet price, but I would have to pass. I like that RH. All right, Duckworth, $62,000. Duckworth knows how to make a fishing boat right, and I'll tell you why in a minute. I like Duckworth boats. So you got a nice Yamaha 115. You don't get the extended transom, so you don't get the fish box or the cutting board or the live well, unfortunately. But it's still a really nice boat. Because Duckworth does a really good job of getting the most out of their boats. And I mean, they give you a good sized deck. It's a 20-foot boat and it doesn't have the extended transom, but it still has a really good sized deck. So you actually have room easily for 4 guys, and you have room to bring a cooler. You don't have a fish box, but you got enough room that, you got enough room to bring a cooler if you need. So I still like the boat for the price. I would really miss that fish box and that cutting board. But I mean, here's a shot of the deck here. Duckworth, their bench seats that they put in the back of the boat, they don't make them extra wide, which is good. They don't need to be extra wide. They just need to be decent for one person. And when they don't make them extra wide, they make them shorter. Look how big the deck is. So a really good sized deck. 2 guys can easily bring a big fish in. Room to bring crab pots into the boat, or shrimp pots, or whatever you want to do. So I like Duckworth. Heavy duty Duckworth windshield. That's kind of the signature windshield for Duckworth. You even got a handrail that goes across there. You got to duck a little bit when you go out to the bow, but that's okay. Nothing much going on the dash. I mean, just your basic switches and gauges. Diamond plate the whole bow. It's all diamond plate, so low maintenance, easy to clean. Just spray it off. You're not going to slip. So, good job, Duckworth. And also with Duckworth, yes, the price jumps up. If you're looking at a Rite or a Riverhawk, the price jumps up a little bit when you look at Duckworth, but it doesn't jump up that much. It's still a better price than most other aluminum boats. And here you go. Here's a shot of the bench seat. See how it's just perfect size for one person. It's not extra wide. That's good. Because look how big the deck is. It gives you a much bigger deck. And the railing for the soft top doesn't come down to the side of your deck and get in your way because they built the railing right. Duckworth did a good job of that. Some of the cheaper boats, the brackets for your soft top come all the way down by the back of the boat and they get in your way so you can't fish because they're in the way. But Duckworth does a good job. Little basic storage. Okay, now we got a second Duckworth. We're jumping up about 4,000. I've noticed with all these boats, when you look at a boat that doesn't have that extended transom and it's not going to have your fish box back there, it saves you about 4,000 bucks is what it comes down to. Here again, another 4,000 bucks, but really the only thing you're getting for that extra 4,000 bucks is you have the extended transom here. Okay, you got the same motor and it's the same boat, everything is the same, but you got the extended transom, so now you should have your fish box and your cutting board and your little live well. But on this boat, for some reason, this is the only boat I've seen where it actually doesn't have the fish box on top, and I don't know why they did that. So you're kind of paying the extra 4,000 bucks for nothing. You got your heavy duty cleats, your downrigger mounts here, but look, instead of a fish box with your cutting board and your live well and everything, you just have these boxes where you have access to your battery and your fuel lines. So they should have those panels at the front of those so you can access it from the front, and then the top part to me should be, you know, your fish box and your cutting board, but it doesn't have that. So I feel like you're paying the extra $4,000 for nothing. So yeah, I would not, I don't see why you would pay $4,000 more for that boat. It's the same boat. Okay, Stabicraft. I know we're supposed to be looking at affordable boats here, but we're also looking at 20-footers, so we had to throw the Stabicraft in here. $103,500. So that's a pretty hefty price tag for a 20-foot aluminum fishing boat, but Stabicraft, when it comes to Stabicraft, they're expensive, but if the other boats we looked at had all the same features that a Stabicraft has, they would also be the same price as this boat. So the value is still there. You're getting what you pay for. It's a high price tag, but you get a lot. They come with nice motors. You got here's a shot of the walls of the deck. They're extra wide. You can sit on it like a bench. They got the deck made on it, which is nice. Built-in rod holders, cup holders, spot for your phone or wallet, heavy-duty cleats, and a decent amount of storage underneath. I like those built-in rod holders. You just put your rod right in it, and then you don't have a big rod holder sticking out, getting in your way or getting caught on the net. So I can never really make up my mind if I like the built-in rod holders or the burn-wind mounts, but I like both of them. Okay, a shot of this fish box here. Stabicraft does it right when it comes to the fish box. First of all, that's one big giant cutting board that you can fillet really good sized fish, almost anything on that. And there's no metal latch or metal buttons or anything in the middle of that cutting board where you're gonna hit your fillet knife on it and dull your fillet knife. And Stabicraft does a good job of that. They know you're gonna fillet your fish. There can't be any kind of metal latch or anything in the middle of that cutting board. So they have it set up. There you go, a good sized fish box and live well. They got it set up so the strap for it is at the front of it. And it's got those rod holders along the back side, which you totally need. You put your rod in there, you tie up your line, put your bait on. Okay, you need to be able to put your rod in there so you can be hands-free to put your bait on and tie your lines. And so Stabicraft does a good job of that. Most other boats don't have that. They don't have rod holders there where your cutting board is. And here again, they got your bench seats decent sized bench seats with big coolers, not just one, but two. Both of those bench seats have good sized coolers under both of them. So if you're having a day on the water where you're catching a bunch of fish and you fill up that first fish box, well, you got a nice big cooler that you can use as a backup, and then another cooler for your food and drinks. So, and you can use it for storage if you want. You can use it for anything. So another really cool feature that Stabicraft has, little storage on the side for your personal items. I love that, and I like how deep it is too. You can put your phone and your wallet, your keys in there, and you know they're not going to bounce out or slide out. So Stabicraft, everything they do, it's like they've put thought into their boat, and they did it right. The guy that designed Stabicraft, you can tell, is a true fisherman. Full electronics. The price tag's a little high, but you get your full electronics with a really large screen, your navigator, fish box, a really nice bow with deck mate. You could put a cushion up there and sit and fish off the side. And you get a sound system. None of the other boats had a sound system. So, I mean, when you see that price tag, $103,000, it's like, whoa, but you know, you're getting what you pay for. And look at the deck here. It's not diamond plate. It's a different style of diamond plate, okay? I like this way better. It's easier on the eyes. It's not going to be harsh on your eyes when the sun is shining on it. It's going to have really good grip to it. And if you're fishing in the summertime in your bare feet, it's going to feel good on your feet. That diamond plate can be maybe a little harsh. So awesome boat. Okay, let's check out a 21 footer just to see, can you possibly get a 21 footer for maybe just a little more and maybe it's worth it? No, it's not. Because now we just jumped up to 90,000. That sweet Duckworth was 62,000. So we just jumped up like, 28,000, right? For what? For a boat that's only 1 foot bigger. And, that Riverhawk that I really liked, that was 57,000. So, I mean, yes, you get a nice 200 V6. That's nice. You got your extended transom here. Very nice. It's got everything you need. And the deck is a little bigger, which is really nice to have, for sure. So plenty of room for two guys on each side with plenty of elbow room. So that's nice. But, I mean, you're talking almost 30,000, give or take a little. So I don't see why you need to spend that much more, because the 20 footers did the job. So no, I would not want to step up to a 21 footer because the price jumps up so much. 97,000 for this 21 foot North River. Again, it's got a nice 200 on it instead of the 150 or the 115. That's great, but I mean, 40,000 more than that RH boat that we saw that I like, just to get a boat that's 1 foot bigger. So no, that's a no. This is a no on the 21 footers. I don't know why. This is why I said at the beginning of the video, the 20 footers are in the sweet spot. They can definitely fish 4 people off the back. The 18 footers can't, they're just too small. The 20 footers are just a little bit more than the 18 footers. But then when you step up from the 20 footers to like a 21 or 22, the price jumps up a lot. So I feel like the 20 footers, they're in the sweet spot. Like, I think you're getting the most boat for your money from the 20 footers. All right, guys, let's check out some hard tops now and see what we got. Can we get a sweet hard top for just a little bit more? We're gonna look at a 19 footer to start off with. 73,000. So that's a big price jump. I mean, that fish Rite was 50. The RH was 57. And this hardtop is 73. So we're talking 15 grand, 16 grand more than that RH. just for the hardtop. I mean, you get a nice 150 VTEC motor, that's nice. But it's also a 19-foot boat, so it's smaller, and the deck is going to definitely be smaller. I'm not saying it's overpriced, it's not. You get that nice rack on top with the hand railing going down. You can throw a little dinghy up there and tie it down, or whatever you want. You got some LED lights shining on the back deck, so if it's early in the morning and it's dark, you can see. You get a nice extra fish box in the floor, so you have 2 fish boxes. I mean, that's super nice. Let's take a look at the side real quick and see right here. So to fish 2 guys side by side off of that is going to be a real tight fit. You could do it, but you're going to be kind of shoulder to shoulder, so it's kind of small. Yeah, I would just want a bigger deck. I'd like to see them make those bench seats not so freaking wide. You know, take at least a foot off of those bench seats and move that plastic curtain back a foot, and then you would have a much bigger deck, and it would be way better if they did that. Then I would definitely be interested. But right now, yeah. I mean, a lot of boat for the money. I'm not knocking it, but I just want the bigger deck. The deck's too small for me. All right, another 20-foot Stabicraft. This time, the price is not $103,000. It's $83,495. So, when we get to these hardtops, the price jumps up a little bit. Get a nice Honda 150. So this is not going to have quite the extra features like the other Stabicraft. The other one was $103,000. This one's $83,497. But it's still got almost everything. You're not going to get the electronics. So the dash is going to be very kind of bare bones. And just a few features that you're not going to get. But pretty big savings though. Okay, and another 20-foot Stabicraft. Okay, look at the hardtop on the boat on this one. Look at the sidewalls. This is a hardtop, solid sidewalls and windshield. On the other ones we looked at, those sidewalls were a plastic curtain. And so that's what you're paying for. So the extra couple $1,000, I think is worth it. I mean, unless you live in an area where it's, you know, it's hot climate, you want to take those side curtains off to let the breeze flow through, I guess. But for me in Washington, the extra couple $1,000, yeah, I'd probably want this one. When you get your rocket launchers, Stabicraft always gives you plenty of rod holders all the way across the top and at the back of the boat. Shouldn't have to add anything to your Stabicraft. Okay, don't go away, guys. We're going to look at some Alaskan bulkhead style 20-footers coming right up, and those are sweet. We're going to look at one Stabi X because we're doing 20-footers, and this is a 20-footer, so let's stick with it. This is not going to be an affordable boat. These are pricey, but they're really awesome. Let's just check it out real quick. So $182,470 for a 20-footer. Ow! That's a lot. If you go up to the 22 or 24-footer, $242,688. 25-footer, $278,867, and the 29-footer, $356,508. So, I'll tell you right now, if I had the money and I was going to buy this boat, I would have to step it up at least to the 24. And you'll see why in a second. Because the decks are really small, because they have so many features and so much stuff packed into this boat that it just doesn't leave you with much deck space at all. The deck space is tiny. And I did some basic research just for you guys. You can, if you get the Rite trailer that you can get with this boat, you can drive the boat right off the trailer and then just drive the boat anywhere. And that, to me, is awesome because not only can you just drive it down the beach and into the water and go if there's no boat launch, but let's say you are going to a public boat launch. Okay, look at this real quick. The back swim step on these Stabicrafts has a very high safety railing that comes all the way around. So that is the perfect spot where you can stand and fish because you got that high railing there and there's one on each side. So that's a really cool feature. And now we're looking at the deck of the boat basically. You really can't fish two guys side by side off of the side of this boat. I mean, you just got enough room for one person there. So that's my only complaint about the Stabicraft boats is the sides are so thick that it takes up some of the space in the boat. And plus this boat here has so many features that the deck is just tiny. So that's my only complaint. But like I was saying, if you go to a public parking lot that has a public boat launch and there's a lot of people and there's a line, you can drive the boat right off of you can just park your truck in the parking lot, drive the boat right off of the trailer and then just drive it down the boat ramp into the water. You don't even need to launch it and tie it to the dock while you park your truck, nothing. I mean, you park your truck, you lock it up, you got everything inside the boat, you get in, you drive it off the trailer and just drive it down the middle of the boat ramp into the water and go. And you can skip the line. So that's a pretty sweet feature. So, sound systems. Check out the dashboard on these Stabicrafts. The dashboard they give you is an extra tall, extra wide dash, which means that they can just lay everything out on this dashboard in a very organized way. This is the most organized, nicest looking dashboard that I've ever seen on a fishing boat, on an aluminum fishing boat. It's so easy to read, so well organized. It's going to be, easy to, learn how to use everything. Love it. Guys, if you're still watching at this point, thank you. Appreciate it. Alaskan bulkheads right now.
All right, here's the 20.
Looking at a Kingfisher. So we are not looking at boats around the $50,000 to $65,000 price point. We got those, but we're looking at these. Still, we're going to see which one we think is giving you the best price. So for an Alaskan bulkhead style boat for $85,921, this is about as good as you're going to get right here. And I like Kingfisher. I've always liked Kingfisher. Usually the cabin of the Kingfishers are really nice. Most aluminum fishing boats, the cabins are just very like heavy duty and kind of industrial looking, like no luxury. They're not really that nice. They're just kind of heavy duty. But with the Kingfishers, the cabins are usually a little nicer than most. Again, get your hand railing across the top, plenty of rod holders. You can tie a dinghy down up there or whatever you want. Nice Honda 150, downrigger bracket. And the other thing with the Alaskan bulkhead boats, you always get that outdoor steering console. And it's very basic, but really all you need it for is for your trolling motor. So you can be out there while you're fishing, watching your rods and controlling your trolling motor from a steering wheel instead of standing at the back of the boat and
decent deck for 4 people.
Driving it tiller style. So very basic steering console there. There's nothing there. That's because it's just for your trolling motor. Little bit of an overhang, not much. I guess that's enough to get out of the sun a little bit or rain. Good sized deck. When you step up to these boats, the deck is a bit wider. Their beam is just a little bit wider than the other ones we've looked at. Huge cutting board. Look at the size of the cutting board on this thing. I love that. So even if you're catching like huge king salmon, you got a big enough cutting board there to fillet your fish. In a huge fish box. And a little tray next to it on that right side there.
No fish boxes in the floor. Unfortunately.
Shock absorbers on the seats. Spring-loaded seats for the smooth ride. That's a nice bonus. And also, with these kind of boats, you can lock it up at night. You can just leave your electronics. If you got rods and reels you want to put in there or anything else, you put it in there. You lock everything up at night, and it's safe. So you don't have to load and unload every morning. That's another just convenient aspect to the Alaskan bulkheads. Solid back doors. You can lock everything up. Kind of a deep dish bow. You can see the bow is kind of recessed into the boat a little bit here with that really high safety railing.
For one chair.
So I would feel totally confident to fish from the bow of this boat right there, even if the boat's moving around a little bit, because if you lose your balance, you got that nice safety railing to grab onto. You're going to have a little porta potty with a curtain that comes around.
Right on.
So
Porta potty.
if you really got to go, at least you got that.
Curtain.
I really don't want to ever use a porta potty unless I really have to, because then you got to go home and take it apart and clean it out. But if you really got to go, it's nice to have something. All right, 21-foot Hewescraft. We're going to jump up about $10,000 in the price, give or take here. It's going to be between 90 and 100. But you do get some nice extra features for that. You got a nice heavy-duty rack that goes around the top. That's a big improvement from the Kingfisher. You got 3 rod holders on each side. Another really nice bow. The bow is kind of recessed into the boat there with the high railings. This one has diamond plate. Okay, the Kingfisher did not. That one's all diamond plate, so you're not going to slip. It's nice. Again, this one has a nice Honda 150, which I guess you kind of need at this point when you got that full like Alaskan bulkhead. I mean, obviously that's going to add a decent amount of weight to the boat for sure. So you're going to need that 150. But basically the same boat at this point. You got a much nicer steering wheel. Just a very basic console for your trolling motor. And you can comfortably seat 6 people inside these boats. Another curtain there that comes around with another porta potty. So very similar boat. It's almost the same boat. It's got a couple of extra nice features, but it's almost the same boat. On these Hewescraft boats, the seats, these bench seats are kind of weird because you got to grab it from the right side and lifts it up, and then it comes over. See that? Now you're grabbing on the left side of the bench and lift it up, and it comes up, which is kind of weird. But, I mean, it's fine. No big deal. So for me, that Kingfisher, from what I saw, it had pretty much everything you need.
Nice big
So
deck
I would
for
probably
people.
save the $10,000 and stick with that to be able to get a full Alaskan bulkhead style boat with a deck big enough for 4 people for $85. That's probably as good as you're going to get. Okay, we're looking at a 21-footer now. Just to compare, 21-foot Weldcraft, $97,471. So the Kingfisher was 85. Now we're at 97. So just 12,000 more, but not much more than that Hewescraft. We're going to call it maybe 5 to 7,000 more than that Hewescraft for a boat that's 1 foot bigger. Is it worth it? I don't know. Right now, I'm looking at the same boat. The overhang on that roof right there is bigger. That's nice. Nice to have that if you want to get out of the sun or the rain. But other than that, I mean, they all had an overhang. This one's a little bigger, which is nice. It should be a decent size. It shouldn't just come out like 12 inches. I mean, it should come out a good couple feet at least. So All your basic gauges. Spring-loaded seats again. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I still like that Kingfisher. All right, guys, Raider. A lot of people have asked about Raider. I've probably heard more comments about Raider boats on my channel than probably any other boat. There's a lot of people out there that like Raider, and I agree. So a 21-footer for $114,175. So we're talking almost $30,000 more than the Kingfisher that we looked at. But again, it's loaded with everything. If you loaded up that Kingfisher with everything that this boat has, it would be almost the same price. So you get what you pay for. Raider has everything included in the price, fully loaded, everything included in the price. Even the Scotty downriggers are included in this price. So this is why people like Raider. You could buy a Raider boat, go launch it into the water the same day, and it has everything. I mean, you're fishing. Downrigger mounts, but those have burn wind mounts in them. Huge fish box, washdown hose, diamond plate everywhere, a huge deck. Raider does a really good job of giving you a really good sized deck because you need it. I mean, you have more than enough room for 4 guys to fish from that deck for sure. From a 21-foot boat. And the steering console here, it's more loaded up with more features. It's not just nothing but a steering wheel. I mean, they got everything. You got rocket launchers on both sides and along the top there. So more than enough rod holders for all the rods you want. And that overhang from the ceiling there, the roof, the way it overhangs is a good size. It's the biggest one so far. So a nice overhang to get some shade. A huge heavy duty rack on top, the nicest rack by far. And the dash is going to be loaded with your electronics. You got your CB radio. You got your navigation, fish finder, everything. So again, guys, I've compared all the boats enough and looked at all these boats over and over that, I mean, you get what you pay for. If the price jumps up, and it seems expensive, it's because you get more. I mean, they're all, I feel like most of the time the boats are priced accordingly. And I feel like you're getting what you pay for. Another really nice bow that's recessed down into the boat with a nice high safety railing. I would feel totally safe fishing from that bow, even in rough water. Some handrails on the ceiling if you need to hang on. If it's a bumpy ride out to the fishing hole. Guys, if you're still with me, I appreciate it. And I mean that. Thank you. Thanks for watching the video up to this point. So, the only thing that I would want to change on a Raider, there you go, another fish box. So, a built-in fish box at the back of the boat, and another one is I would want them to upgrade to maybe Yamaha or Honda motors because I just really like Honda. I'm a Honda fan. I don't know how much that would add to the price, but that's probably the only thing. All right, what's the takeaway from today's video? For me, as far as the hard tops go that we've been looking at, whether it's a hard top or Alaskan bulkhead style top, I like the Kingfisher because even though it's a pretty bare bones boat, it's a full Alaskan bulkhead boat, and it has pretty much everything you need to go fishing. You can add more stuff to it, but you don't have to, and I just like it for the price. Now we're talking about the most affordable 4-man fishing boat, okay, that can properly fish 4 people, which is the 20-footers, like we already talked about. Again, I really like that very first boat we looked at, the Fish Rite, only $50,000. For a sweet boat motor, trailer, nice Honda motor. And like we said, you could add maybe $3,500 onto that boat after you buy it, and you'd have nice rod holders, washdown hose, electronics. You know, you'd be good to go. So you're into it maybe 54. But really, my number one pick for me, for the most affordable 4-man fishing boat that's giving you the most boat for your money, is going to be that Riverhawk, because it's just got everything. The extended transom, the built-in fish box, cutting board, live well, washdown hose, downrigger mount, nice deck space. It's got everything. And the thing I really like is that it has the built-in fish box, because you have that extended transom giving you that built-in fish box. You don't have to bring a cooler, which is great. That has, for me, that has a lot of value to it. I don't want to bring a cooler. It's always going to get in the way. If I'm going to have a big day on the water where I think we might be filling up that fish box because maybe we're going to catch some big halibut or something like that, you can always bring a cooler if you have to, but most of the time you won't need to. And that's great because, you know, it's going to get in the way. So for me, it's Riverhawk. My pick for most affordable, most bang for your buck, 4-man fishing boat, heavy duty fishing boat. I like the Riverhawk. That's my pick. If you disagree, that's totally fine. Leave a comment. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, help me get the channel going. Okay? Turn on the bell so you don't miss the future videos. Thank you if you're still here watching. Thank you, I appreciate it. I really mean that. See you on the next one.